everybody. Kate Brown here. We're here for the 2021 Illinois. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Chicago is like infamous for their terrible traffic. And a lot of our in trouble getting here. So we've been holding back a little bit to get started because of that. So we apologize if you were trying to get on with a little bit earlier. We should be with you in just a few minutes. Please check the Facebook group. Hopefully you're in it. If you're not, please check your emails for the Facebook group link, and we'll make sure we get you approved right away. But please check the Facebook group. Come back on live. We should be good to go. And it should be in just a few minutes. So if you'll give us just a couple more minutes, I would say like 5:30, 5:35, Dan? 5:35. 5:35, we're gonna get started with the live stream, and that'll give everybody just another 10 minutes who's on the road to get here. Thanks, everybody. See you back in 10. excited that you're here with us, and we really have a lot of really great things planned to incorporate the virtual people, even more so than we have in the past, into our retreat this weekend. So thank you guys all for being out there. We have people from 5 countries this year joining us on our live stream. So that's pretty exciting. And I don't know how many states, but a lot of different states are represented here with the people who are here in our in-person group too. So this is very exciting for all of us, and we're just, our hearts are full. Our hearts are full that you are all here with us. So I know we're a little bit late starting, but we kind of knew that that might happen, that there were some traffic issues for some of our people coming in. Have to get if you are here. Doesn't it blow you away? These guys are super professional, and we have so much equipment, and we've got it all working really great for you now. We've got a chat feature that you can check in with us. We're also going to be using the Facebook group all weekend, and we're going to be monitoring the Facebook group as with us. Like if I'm up here talking and get a hold of the person, I can't get back to you until I get to my phone, and I can do that. So little patience too on all of that. But if you use the group, that will be better because we'll have somebody who will be monitoring that at all times. So Dan, is there anything from a technology perspective that you want to 60? So you guys are going to see a screen that's going to say 360 on the landing page for the virtual people. We won't have that tonight, but we will the rest of the weekend. So you're going to be able to see the people in the room that you were with that. So I love that feature. I think that's super cool that we're doing that. Not everybody agrees with that? Oh, sorry. Well, actually, which brings me to that point. In the front of your folder, we'll find a waiver. We sign it and give it to Yolanda. It was almost like you set me up there.
Nicely.
We really did try to do a lot of work to make sure that those of you who are here in person with us have all the handouts and all the information that we're going to work with, and also for the live stream people that we put that together in a virtual manual for you. One of the things that we did was we created a safety and quality download for everybody if you're virtual, or we put in your folders for those of you who are here in person. We're not going to cover a lot of that type of information in our presentations this weekend, so we wanted to make sure that everybody had good basic foundations of safety for using aromatherapy. So please make sure that you take a look at those handouts, and if you have any questions, of course you can ask us. We've got a lot of, not just those of us who are presenting, but we have a lot of really, really skilled essential oil users and aromatherapists that are here with us this weekend. So we're pretty excited about that. So I just want to take a, this is our 5th annual aromatherapy retreat. 5th annual, yeah. Woo-hoo! So about 6 or 7 years ago, we had a group that really went through the whole program together. And at the end of it, they said, you know what, we've got to figure out how to have a reunion or something. And so my wheels got spinning, and I went back to Jen a little while later, and I said, do you think we could do like a retreat or continuing ed or something? And then we decided to talk to Deb about it, and we decided that we could. And so 5 years ago, we had our first annual, and we called it annual because we wanted to make sure that we were going to have another one. We wanted to make sure that it was going to keep going. And so this is our 5th year, and a few years back, Deb and I started working with Dan Fowler, and Dan said to us, why the heck aren't you guys live streaming? And so 3 years ago, we live streamed it for the first time with our in-person people when we were at Salt Tree Yoga in Ottawa. Who was with me at Salt Tree Yoga in Ottawa? Yeah, a lot of you were there for classes or for retreat, and it's just an amazing space. But we really outgrew it, and that's why we had to move to a new location this year. But last year, we all know what happened last year, right? We don't have to talk about Uh, but we went to a virtual only platform, and a lot of you guys joined us in our virtual platform. We did that through Facebook, and Dan was just the production that he put together for us was amazing. And so this year we've got a production team of 3. We've got Forrest, Brandon. I'm sure we're going to be talking about them a couple times through the week here. Hopefully we'll get them on camera at some point or in the 360. You guys will be able to see that. So these guys have been working since yesterday afternoon to put together all of this technology and to make sure that everything's going to work for our in-person and for our virtual attendees. Our 5th annual Aromatherapy Retreat. Elemental Anatomy this year is the name of our retreat. So, yeah. So Jen and I went like a year ago, and we came to this place, and we found it. And it was going to work out for us, and it was going to be a great space for us to have our retreat. And we've already contracted with them to have another next year. So we're for sure going to have the 6th annual Aromatherapy Retreat. But what I'd like to do now is take a couple minutes and let our team introduce themselves and tell them a little bit about themselves. So these are the people you're going to be hearing from all weekend long. We're going to start with Debris.
And I get to say I have had the privilege of learning from these wonderful ladies. They were my instructors when I took the certification in clinical aromatherapy, and I'm sure most of you have had them teach you as well. And Pat's sitting here in the back, and Pat's taught me as well. Pat's one of our fellow instructors. But for me, I have been using essential oils for a very long time, but for the last 15 years, I have a health and wellness practice, health food store, gone on and got my naturopathic doctor degree. I have a background in nursing and as well as these clinical aromatherapists. So I'm excited to share with all of you guys some other holistic avenues and things like that as well. So just excited to be here and look forward to connecting with everybody and learning. So in the back of the room, the man of the hour, Mr. Dan Fowler. Dan, can you introduce yourselves to us?
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to Kathy Pecci because she's going to help us out this weekend. So we're going to have her come on up here and introduce herself for a minute. We're just totally putting people on the spot. Yeah, right. And you know what, Dan? How about if we wait and have Dan do his formal introduction on Sunday morning, because he is going to share with us some amazing information. Yes. And so we will let him. But as we've already said, he helps us with our mentoring us, helping us to develop programs with our production, keeping our heads straight sometimes. At least with me, that's a big thing. And it's just been amazing working with him. And I know Deb and I have all had that privilege to do that. And so he's going to tell you so much more because that was like nothing. His background is like we could stay here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let him tell you guys about that when he is mic'd up and you can all hear him. But I'm going to share my mic here with Kathy and let her talk to you about her. You can just talk into it. Well, I'll just stand by you.
Hi, I'm Kathy Petrie. I'm an instructor of the Aromatherapy program with Isha, and I'm a reflexologist, and I also do equine massage. I'm certified to do that, so I love being in the barn and messing around with animals. I've never been a workshop, so that's another part of it. I'm here to help out.
And virtual people, you'll be able to join us too. Okay, so that's our team here, our presenters for the weekend, and of course me. You're going to hear a lot from me. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kate Brown. I'm from Utica, Illinois, so I'm about 70 miles away from here, probably about the closest person. Maybe some of you. Oh yeah, I forgot Cindy's here.
Yeah,
She's
Cindy's
just a few
close.
miles down the road. Um, and so I am a certified clinical aromatherapist, instructor for the Institute for Spiritual Healing and Aromatherapy. I'm also a healing touch for animals certified practitioner and instructor. So for those of you animal people, I'm an author. Somehow I never wanted to write a book, but somehow in the midst of this last year, Dan talked me into writing 2 books. And so now I'm an author of 2 books with that. And so if anybody wants to talk to me about that, if it's here in person, I've got my books with me. We can talk about that. And I have my own private practice where I do really focusing a lot on essential oil education and also business development for people who want to be in this world. Because we need more people in this world who are talking about energy work and frequency work and therapy because there's so much to this. And I think more than ever, we are going to need us in the coming months and years after everything we've gone through. So I also want to take a minute and explain why one of the key members, I probably get a little teary here, but why one of our key members aren't here. Yeah. So as you guys know, she's one of my best friends, and she has been integral in making sure that this has gone off without a hitch. And for those of you that have a little hitches, I apologize. Because Jen took care of so many of the details, and a lot of that fell to me this year. And I was like, oh my God, I've never appreciated her more than I have in the last couple of months. But she really had a huge health crisis around Christmas time, and she's still really struggling with it. And so she was not able to join us. But she's going to try to watch on the live stream, so hopefully we'll get some comments and some interaction with her. But we do have I hope everybody's seen their envelopes, and if you haven't yet, we have gratitude envelopes for everybody. Make sure you go in and pretty yours up, put it on one table. And then we have all kinds of little notes and things that you can put notes in for people. And we have one for Jen that we would love to have stuffed full that we can send to her. And then also to the retreat center, if there's anybody here that you interact with, or we'd love to send them some thank yous for all of the hard work that they've done for us this year. So, and since I'm already teary, I might as well say this too. A lot of you guys are part of the Isha family, the Institute for Spiritual Healing and Aromatherapy. And it's public, so I'm not telling anything that isn't out there on Facebook. But Christy from our office, her husband had a very serious health issue and they've gotten really bad news on him. So we're going to ask that everybody really send them love and prayers and hold them up throughout the weekend. And, we'll keep you posted if we hear anything more. So, all right. All right, can I take a deep breath now?
Yes.
So we're going to have, just to kind of let you guys know what's going to go on here,
tonight. We're going to have dinner at about 6:15 Central Time for those of you who are out there. So for us, in about 20 minutes, we're going to go up. We're going to have dinner. At 7:30 Central, we're going to come back down here to this space. We'll be back on live stream, and we are going to do some amazing self-care techniques. We have some really fun, interesting things, and they're going to be really interactive. So you guys are all going to get to participate in those. Make sure you have your purple bags, because throughout the weekend, some of the things that are in the purple bags we're going to need. And tonight we're going to need our tourmaline and our selenite for sure. Do you guys need anything out of the purple bags tonight?
No.
Okay. So we are going to use some crystals, so we're going to be able, working with that too. So just make sure that we all have that. Tomorrow morning we're going to do some things. We're going to need our bags, throughout the weekend, so just make sure that you guys have that. Tomorrow, just so everybody knows, we have a slight schedule adjustment. We are going to have a shorter lunch by about 15 minutes. And we are going to move up the whole afternoon schedule by about 15 minutes. We're trying to help accommodate in the kitchen. They need us there for dinner by 6:30. So for those of you guys who are watching via live stream, just so you know, we're going to be about 15 minutes early with everything we do tomorrow afternoon. So the morning schedule is the same. The afternoon schedule is going to get moved up by about 15 minutes. And by the way, we found this out at about 5 o'clock this afternoon, so sorry we didn't get it out there in any place, but that's just where kind of we are with that. So if we have any questions from anyone, please feel free to ask if you're here in the room with us, or if you're on live stream. If anybody's got any questions or anything that they want to share with us, we want to make sure that we're going to do that. Anybody? Yep. For? Yeah, we're going to ask that you guys not use the Wi-Fi unless you absolutely have to, because we're live streaming this to 5 countries. And so we really need all of the bandwidth that we can. So we're going to ask that we not use the Wi-Fi unless it's something that you really need to be able to do. So if you guys can accommodate us, after we're done, we might be able to get that and pass it out. I don't even know it, to be honest. So, but we can, work with that. So, but we are going to ask that we not do that if that's something we can do. Anybody else?
We may want to remind people that mask for dinner.
Oh, yeah. So kind of the deal is with for dinner is when we're interacting with the staff in the dining room, they would like us to wear masks. So please, when you're going up through the buffet line, please make sure that you wear a mask. Also, when we, for dinner and for all of the meals, everything is gluten-free. There are vegan options. So if you ask for vegetarian or vegan, please, if you didn't ask for that, please don't be the first one in line to grab that. But if you did, make sure that you know that there are options for you at every meal that are going to be, we just went with vegan since that would cover, both. So everybody kind of knows that. We do have a couple of vendor tables. Carissa and Tisha have crystals, and they're making some oils, and they're doing ITOV scans and all kinds of fun things at their table. I've already bought some things. Who's already been to the crystal table?
Oh, yeah.
About half the heads of the room, for those of you guys that are virtually, have gone up. So we're really excited that they came and they brought all their pretty, beautiful things, and they're going to share those with us this weekend. And then I got a little table there with my books, so if you guys want to talk about that. And my Animal Sense University, which for you animal lovers, we can talk about that later too. That's the program that I do with Dr. Susan Albright. So, we combined a vet and a certified aromatherapist, and we talk to you about how we use essential oils with our animals. And Dan and the boys are going to be here to help me this summer. We're going to do some more Animal Sense University. So that'll be really fun. I will put this out to, Dan, where do we want to put the schedule for the testimonials? Okay. Yeah, there's a counter right out here. I'll put it there. If anybody would be willing during the weekend to do a video testimonial, about the aromatherapy retreat, we would really love for you guys to do that. We're going to put a little schedule out. We're talking about 1 or 2 minutes. If you want to do longer, you can, but that's all we really need is 1 or 2 minutes. So if you're willing to do that, we would really love that. And then I think on Saturday, we're going to set up a link if any of the virtual people would like to do that, if you'd like to do a video testimonial for us. So Saturday, right before we come back, I think we were talking about like 15 or 20 minutes before our lunch hour gets over. We have a long lunch on Saturday. So, ladies, what am I forgetting?
We may want to restrooms and stuff around here.
Oh, yeah. So just, for those of you guys who maybe either just got here or didn't get a chance, there are a couple of community restrooms right outside the door here. There are several places where you're going to find comfy places. Everybody was asked to bring a reusable water bottle. Hopefully you did. And so because we don't have any water bottles, but there are cups if you need cups. All right. Huh? Oh, yeah. Really love it, starting tonight with our presentations because we want good quality recording. If everybody would remember to turn the ringers off on your phone. Yeah, so. All right, well, I think then we're going to, anything, Dan, that you can think of? I was going to give you like a 10-minute one, and then we're going to go for dinner. And then we're going to be back at 7:30 Central Time. So we're going to do our best to be right on time with that. And we're going to do our self-care techniques tonight. Yolanda and Deb and I are all going to be talking with you. We've all got some really fun things planned. So be prepared to sleep incredibly well tonight because you're going to do a lot of good self-care.
You may want to remind everybody to look at their list because we had put, for the people who are on live stream, so they'll have their oils and things ready for 7:30.
Yeah. So Yolanda just reminded us too, and actually you could hear her, right? She's got her microphone on. But your virtual manual, for those of you guys who are on live stream, at the beginning, near the beginning, there was a list of supplies that you might want to have available throughout the retreat. We also put that separately as a list in the emails that you receive, so you can just pull that piece up if you'd like to.
Mention that again.
Oh, yes. So for those of you who are here in person, did you fill out your waivers? Have you given them to Yolanda? Oh, come on, ladies. Really?
Well, if you will just put
This
them
was
on
our
the table
first
back there,
task.
or Kathy, just pass them to Kathy.
All right, Kathy's going to take.
Kathy is taking over my job.
Yeah, we love that. So Kathy is taking over her job. So, okay, glad to hear that.
She's taking over
All right.
collecting waivers anyway.
Anybody else have anything? Or if not, we're going to... We're going to give you guys a few minutes. If you need to go to your rooms, freshen up, do anything. Dinner will be served in 10 minutes at 6:15, the dining room in that main area where you came in upstairs.
And guys, it's very, very important that we are on time for all of our meals because they are having staff stay and take care of us. So we love visiting and we're all guilty of, tending to chat a little bit, but we need to do our meals and chat after the staff is finished with us.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Okay, and you've got an hour and 15 minutes for dinner. I know if you have been here for a while, maybe that seems like a long time, but we've got people who are coming in from the airport who aren't here yet and who are still getting here. So we wanted to give them time before we started this evening. So thanks, everyone. Have a great dinner, and we'll see you at 7:30.
And vendors, you're open?
Okay, now it's. Oh, wait.
Try again. Can you hear me? Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2.
Like my biologist high school. Well, actually, I'm gonna try to reach out to her to be my like
Oh my gosh,
you know,
I
somebody
know,
that can
right?
help me with because I'm level 4 of healing touch right now. I didn't go to level 5 yet, so I need somebody to help me. And I'm willing to pay or do whatever I need to do, but I reach out to Jackie and she's like, I'm retired. So my biology teacher she's like, I don't and I was comfortable with her and I want to do it. So I'm like, why would I go this far and not finish?
Thank you for bringing that up.
I've learned a lot from her.
Have you?
Was I helped her, she was doing her certification for clinical aromatherapy, helping her put stuff together.
You're number one. You're number one to me because you're the very first one. And I learned so much. I was like amazed. I was so fascinated. Amazed. I was like,
It's just, yeah.
so here we are years later.
Multiple sclerosis.
And older.
Limb pain, she made a blend for her.
Brody Link, check.
People say, what can I do? I say, okay, I've got something for you.
Check, check. Talking to Dan. Check. Brody Link, check. Can you hear me? Check, 1, 2. Good? Hello, talking, check. Sound good? Talking. What? Oh yeah, gasoline, the most essential of essential oils. Many calories. Gasoline is excellent in a vinaigrette. It's the ideal oil for a salad dressing. Not if you're trying to lose weight, but it'll definitely spice up your meal a little bit. How's that sound? Do you want me to keep talking? Are we good?
I don't know anything else that's
Keep talking.
Talking to Brandon about gasoline. Again, some more. Hello, talking.
Check it out. Thank you. Just like we did normal sailing.
Keep talking.
Talking more. Check, 1, 2. Talking. Essential oils. Brody Link. Mike. Sound check. Okay.
Let her feel his whole mouth is sealed. So then my she calls me. I've got this and
There's a song by Rage Against the Machine called Mic Check. And that's what I'm thinking about right now.
All right, it's 6:12, guys.
I first discovered Rage Against the Machine through the Matrix movies.
But anyway, but this is like.
Where, yeah, they play the song Wake Up in the credits. And, okay. There's the feedback.
I should just get over it. I should also make sure that people understand how to. Ooh.
TV, that's coming through the TV.
Slightly less feedback.
Hold on. Let's mute.
Mute.
Better?
Yeah, hello? Talking? I'm talking. I don't know if
Talking.
you hear anything.
Yeah, I know, because we unplugged that. Because I thought that might have been the power on going through. It's actually coming to the TV, that's why it was looping.
Oh.
Now the TV's muted, we're good, I still see levels,
Maybe that was what messing
Cool.
up the YouTube stuff.
maybe, could be.
Oh. Anyway. Well. I've got audio. I've got a guest speaker, and he's going to teach you how to smash a subscribe button on YouTube.
Smash that subscribe button.
It's a specialty.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
Keep talking.
So, I really liked Thor Ragnarok because Hulk just shows a different
Taika
side of
Waititi.
himself. Yeah, Taika Waititi, man. Just
Quit talking about my GTs.
no. We're gonna talk all we want. They were very Taika. They were small. They were unmasculine. Your Waititis definitely didn't know how to smash like or subscribe buttons. Clearly,
They
because
don't smash,
they just
Hulk thud.
Hulk thud doesn't have the same ring to it, but I'm cool.
Alright,
This-
alright, I think we're alright.
So it's not the
That'd be great.
Yeah.
You never have to worry about me being cold. Hot, yeah.
Okay, so I need some rosemary. I'll need somebody to pass out the rosemary.
You're looking at her.
You are all mic.
Thank you, Don.
Like I said, I hated it.
I know. You paid for torture.
What do you need me to do? So just be careful, I could be taking care of people upstairs too.
Okay, I'm gonna do rosemary. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna do rosemary oil.
Yes, ma'am.
For everybody, just to drop in their hand, but we can hand it out.
Now, it's gonna come out of a bottle, okay, I'm not gonna wanna throw it on the ground.
No, I already did tissues for people, so.
With the rosemary?
Nope, orange and lemon.
Well,
Nope, I'm not doing your job.
Yeah, but the orange and lemon is after my rosemary. So
Right, but I might as well get it out now.
you do you.
I can't give you one, I don't have enough.
Hi, Dan.
I'll just have you smell orange and lemon. You can use, you get the bottles. You can-
give me the box and I'll smell it.
Just smell the box.
That's all right. Oh,
Okay, Brandon, something happened with the cord.
Oh, did it slip down?
Yep.
Let's have you take out this sleeve for a second.
Because when you did it earlier, it worked.
Oh,
better.
okay, here we go.
For people doing live
office, and he was on a bad work call.
Okay.
So we think that it was clearing the
And just as a reminder, if you can make sure your phones are turned off or down, please, on your ringers. Thank you.
There's an echo.
There's an echo we're hearing. Okay.
I posted in the group we were having a few, we were going to be there.
People are texting me individually.
We need to just tell them they need to follow the group. We might need to, at the end, make that announcement that we're aware, but we can't answer every post. We'll post it in the group.
Yeah, and she's sending me a Facebook message.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Anita.
Who is that? I wonder.
Who's here? There's noise, yeah, noise is back now. And now we're going to get warm.
Right, Deb.
All right, welcome, and thank you for joining us. And we are having our presentation this evening on self-care. And I was just talking with the group before. How many of you feel you might need a little bit of self-care? Yeah. And how many of you are really busy and you think self-care is kind of tough to get to? Yeah, yeah. So we're going to be talking with you a little bit today on some self-care strategies that you can do in a very quick time. And I just love the slide here. Self-care is the new health care. And that really, I mean, that sounds very simple, but it is really profound. Because without your doing your self-care, if you're not filling yourself, you're really not able to give to others, right? I've been asked to go through this disclaimer, which I know is going to be challenging to read as I get my readers on. And so I just want to, and this is just something I'm going to go through for this first time, just so you're aware. You do have it in your every presentation. But this is part of the Aromatherapy retreat, and it's for informational basis only, and that we are not, if you have advice or guidance of a medical profession, you should always seek the advice and guidance of a medical professional if you're having any kind of concern with using any of these products. And the opinions expressed by the contributors are solely our own, and you met us all. And so this is, you can read the rest there, but I just want you to be aware that this is one of the statements that we have to make sure you're aware of. So let's talk about self-care and why is it important. Well, it is known that 35% of Americans are chronically stressed. Chronically stressed. 43% suffer from adverse health effects from stress, and it costs $300 billion a year. So that should be pretty alarming. 60 to 80% of primary doctor visits are related to stress, but only 3% of patients will get stress management help. That's amazing. Exactly, yeah, like, why are we here? What are we doing? We all know this, and we all are doing this. But I want to share something else with you. In 2019, prior to COVID, we had 25% of healthcare workers in a survey, 25% of healthcare workers reported depression and anxiety. And of that, 45% of healthcare workers said they had stress. This is before COVID. Okay. Since in September 2020, kind of in the heart of COVID, 86% of healthcare workers reported anxiety, primarily nurses, and there's some nurses in the room. 93% said they were under stress. Now, This should be alarming whether you're in the healthcare field or not, because where are you going for your health? Or for, and if you're going to a stressed out workforce. That should be something that we should be looking at with our self-care. What can we do? Self-care. Better self-care, and teaching this is something that we can do very quickly. Okay. So I want to turn this over to my colleague Yolanda Heath, and she is going to share now a really quick self-care tip for you.
Thanks, Deb.
You're welcome.
So we're excited that all of you have made it here in person, and if you are with us on the live stream, we're excited to have you there as well. I love this technique that I get to share with you guys. Kathy is walking around the room giving each of you guys a drop of essential oil. If you'll just, those of you that get it first, just kind of hold the aroma here and wait for us, and the rest of you hang tight just a second. For those of you at home, we had sent out on your notes to maybe have one of the 4 oils, either rosemary, basil, eucalyptus, or peppermint. So any of those oils would be great that you have. But the technique, as you can see on our wonderful screen here, is tent breathing. And I hope I can do, I did it right. I'm proud of myself. I didn't check in with the technology. Most of you guys have been really patient with us. We have had a little bit of technology issues, and we were all discussing the mounting need for learning technology here over the last year. So we're all having some challenges there. But the purpose of tent breathing is that it helps you to release some emotions and helps to open up your lungs, which is really a great thing that we all need. For me, I really use this when I have those panicky moments, like, oh, I have to get it all done. We've had a few of those the last day or so. But it's really just anytime you need to make yourself stop and breathe, where you just can stop. And the cool thing about it is all you need is a bottle of oil and your hands. So that's the really cool thing about it. You don't have to do it very long. I mean, I can sometimes do it as quick as just a couple of minutes. Sometimes it takes me 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how stressed I am at the moment, maybe could be the issue here. So here in the room, we are actually using rosemary, and rosemary oil is excellent for stimulating your memory, kind of opening up your channels and helping you to get a little bit focused. And I don't know, for those of you who are live stream, we've had some attendees here we've had some car troubles, we've had some plane delays, we've had rental car issues, so I think most all of us in this room are ready to take a minute to breathe. So if you guys will bear with me a little bit, we're going to do a little bit of tent breathing. So now that you have your oil in your hand, the drop has been there. So we like to rub your hands together. I don't know who says it's 3, but it's 3. It's something I learned, and I think most of us learned. And so this is a great picture. Kate had a great picture of demonstrating this, so she allowed us to use her picture. So I'm going to turn to the side. You want to take your hands, kind of make like a little tent, but bring it up and cover your nose and your mouth. And take in a deep breath and breathe it out. And take another, and everybody's coughing. And take another deep breath. And breathe it in and out. And sometimes if the oils are a little bit strong for you, maybe you need to back them off your face a little bit, or even hold them down chest level. And you want to just keep a few breathing in and out, in and out. After you do that, maybe take your hands down. If you've done it about 3 times, give yourself a break. I usually kind of just sit there, close my eyes, give myself a second to breathe. And then we want to repeat that again. And you want to take a deep breath and breathe it out. And then do another deep breath. Breathe it out. And in and out. And you can slowly release your hands and bring them down. Now, obviously, you could do this for several minutes, but of course, we're demonstrating wonderful self-care techniques for yourself here. But what it really does for me is it settles my spirit. It helps me to kind of calm down and focus. And you can use any oil, depending on what's going on situational with you at the time, depending just what's happening in life. Whatever oil speaks to you for your
mood, for whatever else is going on. So it's a great technique, and I think it's really good for all of us as far as self-care, really to just remember to breathe. I think that's the biggest issue we have as a society, is we don't breathe. We don't take times to take those deep breaths that can settle down into our body and help us to focus. So with that, now that you're all ready to focus and your minds are stimulated, I'm going to pass you back over to Deb.
Thanks, Yo.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a little bit of visualization as another type of self-care technique that you can use for yourself. So first I want to talk a little bit about what is creative visualization. And so what is this about? It is, when we look at the universe, it's really energy. And we are energy beings. And so thought, when you're thinking about something, it's really a blueprint for something physical. So it's energy that is coming physical. And it's more than just positive thinking. So what we are looking at with visualization is that it really can be something that where you're using your imagination. Let me back up here. Where you're using your imagination to create what you want in life, creating a clear image of what you wish to manifest with the goal of being something that's physical. It could be mental, emotional, or maybe even something spiritual. So know that most of us, though, go with the what ifs. Think about what you're thinking. It's like, oh, I get into something that's, what if this happens? Or what if, and that's where we tend to focus. We tend to focus on the what ifs, and that's what we're giving energy. And how many times have you talked to somebody, or maybe you're teaching something, and they're like, yeah, but, or what if this would happen? What do I do then? And you can just continue to go down that path. So that's really where many of us will put the energy. That's actually something that that's been researched. We actually put more energy in the what ifs than we put into what's the positive that I really want to focus on. So when we create something, you want to think about it first as a thought, like a blueprint in your mind. And then it becomes that physical, moving it into that physical manifestation. So this was a process then that really looks at three types of things that we want to look at. First of all, you want to get into that relaxation. We relax differently. Some people do the breath. Maybe that's something that kind of helps bring you into a place of relaxation. Maybe it's an affirmation you have that you say for yourself. Maybe it's a prayer that kind of helps you to settle in and to get centered. So we start with that, and then we want to visualize. Now, there's different ways you can visualize. You can do the receptive, where you just, maybe you have a concern, and I use this a lot in the Cancer Center, that there might be a concern or a question they might have. So we just kind of get into that place of relaxation, and you let the images flow. And then it's something that, they set their intention for what question or concern they might want some information on, and you let the images flow in order to get that answer. There's also the active, where there's a conscious choice. You actually really are taking yourself to a place you really enjoy. You have been there before, and that's where you want to go. So just like with anything, the problem usually is fear. That's the big thing where people are like, I just can't do that, or I don't want to go there, that kind of thing. There's that fear factor that arises. And like anything else, the more you practice, the quicker that you can get your results or to get into that place of centered and relaxation. So how do you do this? Well, first you want to set your goal. So again, what is your goal? It could be something like relaxation. Maybe it's something, I need energy or renewal. Maybe it's something of balance. So, again, that's another thing that we don't always think about. What's my goal? And I know this in talking with patients. That's one of the first things I ask when they come into the the room, the treatment room. What's your goal? And a lot of times they get, what's a goal? What do you mean? Because we kind of tell people what to do or how to, how they're going to be moving through things. So what's your goal? What do you want? So I'm asking you, what's your goal? What are you looking for? So you want to create that clear idea of what you intend and picture yourself as you have already received it. So you're already in as many details as you can, that you're already in that receiving. And then focus on it often. And some people even do like a visualization board, and that they can look at and they can see it, or they have their goal written somewhere like where they can see it someplace every day. And every time you're giving yourself that positive energy, you're using that positive energy, that you can even sometimes just use a word that then reminds you of being in that place, or a trigger. This might be a trigger, like a gesture, that can take you there really quick. So the more you practice, the more you use the trigger, the quicker you can get to your intention that you have set for yourself. And there is the law of karma, that visualization is for good. So you can't think you're going to send some sort of voodoo spell on somebody. Okay, it's not that way. It doesn't operate that way. So it is something that is on the law of karma. What you're putting out is what you're going to receive. So again, being cautious about how we're looking at that. So in order to do the visualization, you have to have that desire to create something. You have to have a belief in your goal. All right, we already talked about setting the goal. Do you really believe that goal? And that's really kind of interesting too, because people will set goals and that's like, yeah, but do I really deserve that? Can I really get to that point? So again, believe that you've got that goal and accept that you are going to receive what you are seeking. This is all about intention, setting intention, and that's how we get started when we set up visualization. So you have a tissue in front of you, and some people who may have came in late, Kathy, if you would, I think there might be about 4 that we might need, 3 or 4. But you have a tissue in front of you with orange and lemon on it. And those of you on live stream, that was one of the suggestions we gave. But just know that if you do not have orange or lemon, that you can set that intention, that that's what you're breathing in, and bring a tissue or breathe in the oil that you would like for your visualization experience. So I'm inviting you then to get relaxed, maybe to get your tissue with your orange and lemon, and I'm going to kind of walk you through or guide you through a visualization experience. So I invite you to get comfortable as much as you can in your chair, and just allow yourself to settle in. Maybe use that tent breathing, but maybe use it with the tissue, and take that breath and just breathe in that orange and lemon. That combination, orange is relaxing. It's great to support the immune system. Lemon also, but it's uplifting. So you have that relaxation, yet that feeling of being uplifted with that orange and lemon. So as you get comfortable, I invite you to use the element of air. Our focus is on the elements with this workshop, so focusing on the element of air as you breathe in your intention, your goal. Whatever you would like, maybe at this time. And if there are any distractions or concerns that float in, let the breath out, carry it away. So your focus is on the breath in, letting the element of air, breathe in your intention and your goal, settling it in to your being. Slowing down your mind, slowing down your emotions, slowing down, relaxing your spirit. I invite you to picture or sense a glimmering light above your head, bringing your intention as you breathe in, allowing this light to flow in through the top of your head with that intention. Use the element of water as you see this light flowing into your face, your neck, your shoulders. Allow any burdens that you might be carrying to gently wash off your shoulders. maybe feeling a little lighter. Allow the light to flow down your arms, your hands, your fingers, bathing all of your cells with that light, that intention that you have for you. Let that light with your intention flow down your spine, moving out into your back, easing every muscle, relaxing deeper into your chair. Continuing with those elements of air and water, breathe in the light and let it fill your lungs, your chest, with its essence of your intention. Let it flow into your abdomen, filling and surrounding your organs, cleansing, clearing anything you wish to let go. Let it move into your lower belly and your lower back, releasing your concerns or any issues you may be hanging on to. And fill that space with the light of your intention. Bringing it into your hips, your thighs, your knees, letting it flow down your legs into your feet. Allow this sparkling liquid light to fill your entire body as you ground to the earth element, connecting to the energy of our earth, feeling and sensing that one connection, that intention you share with our earth. And sense the energy of the earth flowing up and into your feet, through your body, connecting above. And the light above connecting to the earth, sensing the oneness. Notice how that light comes into your heart center, which is in the middle of your chest. Set that intention, your intention, within your heart, and use the fire element to expand your intention, your heart's desire, to fill you and surround you, bringing you your full intention. Feel it wrap you like a comforting blanket. And just take a moment to notice what you feel, what you might sense. As you stay with this place of peace, renewal, whatever your intention might be, I invite you to use a reminder of this sensation with what we call a trigger. It might be a word you say to yourself. It might be a gesture, like your thumb and finger together, any way you choose, so that when you wish to come back to this sensation, set your intention, bring in the light, use your trigger. Your body remembers, your mind remembers, your spirit follows. Now I invite you slowly to bring your awareness back to your breath. Maybe breathe in that orange and lemon, and you know oils can serve as a trigger. So maybe if this speaks to you, let orange and lemon be your trigger to bring you back to that sensation, to your intention. Taking a couple of breaths, just wiggling maybe your fingers and toes, shrugging your shoulders. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. You always want to open your eyes softly, especially with light in the room, because you don't want to give a jolt to the nervous system. You're in a place of relaxation, and to gently open the eyes keeps the nervous system in a place of rest. So this is something that you can do very easily. It may take some time to practice, but just know that once you use your intention, use your trigger, you can immediately come back to that sensation. It works, and it works very quickly. So thank you for that experience, for sharing that with me, and I'm going to turn it now to Kate Brown, who is going to share her self-care ritual.
Wow, I feel like I need to take a few minutes here. I was pretty deep into that experience with Deb there, so thank you, Deb, for sharing that with us. And so if you see me walking around like this,
You know what I'm doing.
Kate, are we just supposed to spray this?
I'll tell you when.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just
We weren't sure.
Yeah. So because I'm going to be talking about crystals this weekend, and because I love them, and because I'm responsible for some of you people having an addiction, we're going to do a little something with crystals tonight. Removing our it's called the Removing the Negative Energy Ritual. The book that this comes from is called Crystal Healing for Women. It is in your bibliography in my crystal presentation, so you guys will all have that for this. But I just really, when I read it, it felt exactly perfect for what I wanted to share with everybody this weekend. So I wanted to, kind of just work with you guys, because we feel like a lot of times that our energy is drained, that we just can't shake something off, that maybe there's something stuck and stagnant that just doesn't seem to move out. Anybody had that feeling in the last year? I mean, I've had that feeling before, but in the last year, it's felt pretty heavy and pretty thick for a lot of us, especially if you're tuned into the universal energy. Especially if you're an empath, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if there's been times during the stressful time that maybe your boundaries haven't been quite as solid as they need to be. Oh gosh, people are coughing over there. Sorry about that. I'm speaking from experience here, from my own too, with this. So it can be really frustrating, right? When we can't let this go. And so I want to be able to share a way that we can get past that exhaustion, that we can get past that frustration, and that we can use the energy tools that so many of us have already, right? We all have oils. We know that. We're going to, of course, use oils. Many of us have crystals. And if you didn't have them before, I provided them for you for the in-person people. So you'll have no excuse not to be doing this with that. So we're going to look at how we can get rid of some of these denser, darker energies that sometimes feel like they follow us. As light workers, what do we attract sometimes?
Darkness.
Yeah. So we need to have a regular way to let these things go. And I have to tell you, my essential oils are a huge piece of that, right? They're a huge piece of it probably for all of us. And for me, in the last couple of years, crystals have become a huge piece of that too, right? I've always loved them, but now I know why I love them. So those are things that we're going to take a look at. So if you're here with me, I want you to take out your little bags. If you're at home, if you have a piece of tourmaline, black tourmaline, and a piece of selenite, great. If not, if you have a clear quartz or any sort of a clear stone and a black stone, you could use either of those to work with. So you guys have them too if you want to do them. So we're going to work with these two, so just keep them out there and available. So everybody should have a nice little piece of selenite and a nice little piece of tourmaline. So I'm going to show off. I'm going to pull out my big old tourmaline. And this is something else that I love. I have 2 selenite rods. And so these are great for meditation too, that you can use those. So I'm going to work with those 2 tonight, just so that, you know, the live stream people can see them really well. Okay, so the ideal time to do this is right before bed. So what are we all going to get ready to do after this?
Go to bed.
Right?
Go to bed.
Yeah, I'll bet some of you guys are exhausted. Some of us had really long days today. You know, we either were setting up for retreat, or we were traveling, or we were trying to get 100 things done before we got here, right? Or we had issues, car trouble, travel issues. You know, all of these things happen on a regular basis with this. So these are things that, you know, we can do. Ideally, we want to do this a couple of times a month, or more often if you feel like you need it. Maybe you're in a situation where you feel like you picked up this energy, or you've been around a lot of it and you want to make sure you're not going to pick it up, right? So you can do it more often, but do it as you need it. The other thing that I really like to work with is Palo Santo and sage. So this is me putting a little twist on what's in the book here with us. So we're going to work with some Palo Santo and sage, and there's like 3 or 4 different ways you could work with this. Tonight we're going to use a spray. So I put some Palo Santo and sage in distilled water, and we're going to work with that with a spray. You could use your oils neat or diluted and just put a couple drops on your hands and use them that way. Or you all got, if you're here with me, you all got in your bag a little bag of sage and a little bag of Palo Santo chips. And so you could burn those, and you could use those. We're going to use those tomorrow night in our ceremony around the fire. So we're going to continue to use those oils. But those are 2 really great ones. Now, just as a precaution, remember, sage is an oil that we would want to use some caution around if you had uncontrolled seizures, right? So just, you know, that's in your safety information, but just as a reminder. So if we're going to have both sage and Palo Santo in the spray, they're very diluted that we're going to use tonight. But if you don't want to use sage, don't use the sage, okay? So we want to make sure everybody stays safe with that. All right, so here is what we're going to do. Kathy, yeah, Celeste, would you like to help? Sure. So why don't you take the sage or the Palo Santo, and Kathy take the other. And if you want one or the other, that's great. One of you can start on one side of the room and one of you on the other side of the room. But I'd say take them both, right? So they're going to come around and give you guys a little spritz. Yeah. So if you want it in a certain spot, that's fine. If you want to stand up and get a whole body spray, that's great too. Whatever you want to do. If you want some on your hair. If you're at home and you made a spray up, great. Give yourself a little spritz. If you're going to if you want to, burn some Palo Santo or some sage and brush yourself off with that. Yeah, you can put some in your hands and brush it off yourself if you want to. What we're doing, though, as we're using this, and this is important, is that we are cleansing. We are starting the cleansing process by adding in the frequency and the power of our essential oil, or the frequency and the power of our herb or our wood, if that's what you're choosing to use. If you want to, somebody's got sage and somebody's got Palo Santo.
You can do both.
You can take both if you want. You can use one or the other. Okay. So if you want to brush it on your body, if you want to brush it through your energy field, maybe there's a place that you feel like there's something that's stuck. Maybe there's a place where you feel like I need to let go of something in my body because you can feel it physically. Maybe you want to take that oil and place it there. Maybe you want to rub it on that right hip that just doesn't want to go away. Right? But find that. And maybe everybody should want to do their whole electromagnetic field, right? Mm-hmm. Man, can you guys feel that already?
Here, let me
In
get
the
Fred's
room,
cake.
it is just, all of that release of energy.
Here, Fred.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Oh, that smells good.
I don't know what
That
I
smells
gave her.
good. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Everybody take their tourmaline, and I want you to place it on the ground between your feet.
Here.
I just came unhooked when I bent over.
Technology again, that
Yeah.
technology.
Here, I'll help.
Yo's got you.
You guys got me? Oh, come on. I thought for sure Brandon was going to run out here.
Here, the clip fell off.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and then we're going to take our selenite. I'm going to use my pretty rod here, and we're going to put that in our right hand. Okay? So before we do anything, I want you just to take a minute. We've just put on those oils. We put tourmaline down at our feet, at our base, at our root. We're putting the selenite, the clearing, the cleansing stone in our right hand. So just take a moment and just feel already, before we've really gone into anything, how that feels. Maybe close your eyes for a minute. Take a couple deep breaths. Whew. One of the things I love about working with selenite is it's so clearing and cleansing, yet it doesn't need to be cleansed itself. It always lets go. So I gave you guys some words, and we're going to say, if you want to, we're going to say those out loud. We're going to say those out loud together if you want to say them to yourself, or if you don't want to say them at all, that's okay. You can use your own words for that. So here, you just repeat after me if you'd like to repeat after me. I choose to release.
I choose to release
all that no longer serves me.
all that no longer serves me.
Sorry. All that no longer serves my highest purpose.
All that no longer serves my highest purpose.
Any residual energy
Any residual energy
that is not mine
that is not mine
easily leaves my space now.
easily leaves my space now.
If you don't have your eyes closed, close your eyes. Take a few long, deep breaths. Let those breaths breathe deep into your entire body. Feel your inhale to your toes and your fingertips and the crown of your head. And as you exhale, let it leave all the way through your body. Start to visualize any energy that you need to let go of that still is stuck, that still feels like it's there, moving into that black tourmaline that is at your feet. Anything that feels stuck, that feels dense, ask that it be released gently from your body, released out through your feet, pouring into that black tourmaline. Imagine any destructive habits, any fearful thoughts, any dense influences in your life are just being swept away into the stone and instantly transmuted. As this happens, notice how you feel. Notice the shifts that are happening within you. Maybe you feel yourself becoming lighter. And again, if you would like to repeat after me, I consciously choose to call
I consciously choose to call
in only that which is supportive,
only that which is supportive,
loving, benevolent, and helpful
benevolent, and helpful
in my life for my highest good.
in my life for my highest good.
So let's just say that again. I consciously choose to call
Consciously choose to call
in only that which is
in only that which is
supportive,
supportive,
loving,
loving,
benevolent,
benevolent,
and helpful
and helpful
in my life
in my life
for my highest good.
for my highest good.
I choose light.
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 I rise above.
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 And so it is.
And so it is.
Just take a few deep breaths. Finding your balance. If during this time it did not feel as if everything cleared, set an intention to allow that clearing to continue with grace and ease. As you're ready, take 3 to 5 long, deep breaths to let your eyes slowly open. As Deb tells us, not to let our nervous system be shocked. Let it flutter at first, unfocused. Let your breath slowly bring your eyes open. And when you're ready, that you're fully present, I'm going to take a minute here and just ask if anyone has anything that they wanted to share from the experience, and maybe if there anybody on the live stream would like to share too, we could share that with the group. Do you want to share, Deb? And it's okay if you don't, and that's fine. It can be a very personal experience. I don't know about anybody else, but the temperature in the room felt like it went up about 30 degrees for me. I feel like I'm just vibrating with heat here. It was lovely to look around and to see the shifts physically and energetically that were going on in the room just in doing something like that. And maybe when you do it for yourself, you'd want to do it a little quicker, or maybe you'd want to do it a little slower. Depends where you're at. Anita?
My hand was throbbing, holding this, and then as we continued, it felt like it was going to fall out, and there's no throbbing. And I wasn't holding it any different.
Yeah, can they hear her, Dan, or do you want me to repeat that?
Repeat that one.
Okay. Anita was just saying that as she held the selenite in her hand, that it was throbbing, and that then after a while that it felt like it was going to fall out, and then the throbbing ended with the selenite. So,
Nancy Klein says she feels physically lighter.
yeah, Nancy Klein, who's on our live stream. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Nancy's one of my girls. She's a Michigan girl, and she said that she feels physically lighter after doing that. Tasha, did you have something?
I felt the exact same thing. My hand was throbbing. I felt like my heart was beating, and I just felt like it was really emotional.
Yeah, so Tasha's saying that she felt the beating, the throbbing with the selenite, and that it felt really emotional for her, that it brought up emotions, right? You felt maybe more connected. Because, you know, sometimes what happens with that darker, denser energy, does it cover up? Does it keep us from feeling our real feelings, from being authentic? Yeah. Did anyone else? Anything else on the chat, Dan?
Yes, Lori Keith says she feels much lighter and warmer too.
So Lori Keith, who was hoping to be here in person, hopefully we'll get her next year. She said that she feels much lighter and much warmer. So I'm just repeating that for the live stream people. So that's awesome that we're here. A lot of people were having the same kind of reaction and the same sort of experience in doing that.
Terry Spencer said that she felt a little chill afterwards.
Oh, yeah. So does anybody else get cold when they release? Yeah, that is an experience. So Terry on the live stream said she got a chill, and that's what happens a lot of times for me when I do a big release, is I get really cold.
I think other people feel the heat.
Yeah.
I feel cold when I release.
I can vouch for that, Cindy.
Well, sometimes there's a heat release first and then like a drastic drop in temperature.
Yeah,
So it just depends too on what you're releasing.
yeah.
Fear is cold.
Pardon?
When releasing fear, it's like very cold.
Oh, so Gerada says when you release fear, you get cold. So that might be, you know, that if you have different reactions, it might be based on what it is that you're releasing. I've never heard that one, Gerada. Thanks for sharing. Okay. So there's a couple things that I just want to share with you regarding this. First of all, you all got a really dirty piece of black tourmaline under your feet, right? So I want you to take your selenite, and if you can, I want you to put your black tourmaline on top of it, and I'd like you to leave it in this room tonight and let it clear out overnight. I don't want you to take your dirty black selenite or black tourmaline into your room. Yes.
There's a question, can they use any stones if they don't have the ones you're using?
Yes. So there's a question on the live stream asking if they could use other stones. Thank you, Yo. So yes, you can absolutely use other stones. So any of our cleanses with that, and almost all of the black stones or really dark stones tend to be ones that will absorb in some of that darker energy. So black obsidian or shungite is another one that I really like to use with that. So if you have something else, you could use it even in smoky quartz. What about you, Carissa? Would you have another couple stones maybe to throw in there?
The ones that you mentioned and smoky quartz are the ones that people go to.
Yeah. But jet is another one, you know, that black obsidian as some of those darker stones to work with. So when you get home, if you've got a space that feels like it needs to be cleared out, put some of these stones in your corners. I have lots of places where I have a clear quartz and a black tourmaline in the corners of my room. And my goal this spring is I'm actually going to grid my property with that. I have the stones, I just don't have it done yet. Because I want my horses to have all that good energy too, right? And my dogs. So, you know, and my neighbors, right? It helps everybody in the neighborhood. It helps my community when I do that. It helps the earth, it helps the land. And it helps me. Yeah. So thank you guys all for sharing that experience with me, and I hope that it felt helpful for you. Again, let's make sure we all clear our black tourmaline tonight. I suggest, again, not taking it into your room with you. It's not a full moon tonight. We can't put it out in the full moon. But, but I'm going to turn it back over to Deb to kind of finish up, and then we're going to have a general Q&A.
I think we can do that now,
Yeah?
probably.
Okay. I didn't know if you
I
had.
think you have a last slide, though. That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
I like that slide.
So just self-love is not about treating yourself with dark chocolate or bubble baths from time to time. It's about a choice to create a life that you don't need to escape from. Mm-hmm. So how many of us would like to live that life? Mm-hmm. How many of you are living that life? Yay! I love that a couple of you guys raised your hand for that. Congratulations to you. I'm really working on it. And it keeps getting closer and closer to that. But when you don't feel like, oh, I need to go have a vacation and escape and get away, what a difference that makes.
The words that you use for the cleansing, can we have those words sometime?
Yeah, they're on your slides.
Are they?
Uh-huh. Yep. The words are on your slides, and they're also in the book that I referenced, Crystal Healing for Women. Yeah.
Slide 16 and slide 17. Oh, I see. Okay.
I tried to make them so you could read them. So, okay. So Q&A about anything that we talked about, or anything even if people want to share about maybe self-care or something that you guys find really helpful that we could share with the group would be great too.
And also on the virtual, asking you too, what kind of self-care activities would you suggest, or maybe that you include in your practice settings that is something that can be used quickly?
That's I love it. I put essential oils into my salt, and then I put it in the bathtub.
Oh, okay. Essential oils into the bath salt, and then putting it into your bath and doing something to relax. That's a great one. Great cleanser.
Gerada, if I could have got enough bathtubs, you know that's what we would have done.
If the pool was open, we would have done that.
We would have just helped out their pool.
The collective clearing. Yeah, I like that. Maybe that's the name for the next retreat. Collective clearing.
Anyone else want to share or have a question?
Or any questions about what we talked about?
Yeah.
With the visualization or the temp breathing. Yes.
I have a new self-care thing, and I hope this doesn't sound silly, but I started giving myself permission to just sit and not do anything. Not think, not try to meditate, not try to anything, but literally just gonna sit and be.
And just
for as
be.
long as I can work.
That is really nice. And, you know, there's some things coming out, too, that just to set your, even if you set the timer for a minute and just to practice, you know, because that can be challenging to sit for even a minute. But to even do that for a minute, like just to kind of clear yourself, or if you find your mind kind of shifting, going to something familiar that's pleasant and staying with that image or staying with that, you know, that particular focus. But that's great. Yeah, thank you. It's a great self-care.
How exciting, you know, really, to give yourself permission.
Yeah.
How many of us don't give ourselves permission?
Got to do this, got to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really great. I took a class on essential oils and trauma last year with Jonathan Benavides. Has anybody done any classes with him? Highly recommend him. He's from the Netherlands. He's going to be speaking at AIA this year. But one of the things that he brought up, and I'm like, how profound is this? And I not only have changed my life doing this, but I think I've changed other people's lives too, is that if we just have our oil, however we have it. If we've got it in a nasal inhaler, if we have a bottle of it, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have it sitting all over my house. Like, I really can't take 5 steps without having a bottle of oil. But that if we just stop for 1 to 2 minutes and smell our oils, and how we can create, no matter what's going on in our day, that we can create a moment of happiness while we're smelling our oils. Just for 1 to 2 minutes. And even if everything else is right there when we get done, but guess what? It never is. But to just say, I give myself permission, and I love that maybe to add that in there to, piggyback off Celeste, to have a moment of happiness. And when you start to trigger that with an oil, especially if you continue to use the same oil over and over again, that can be really, really powerful in your life. I work with people with their dogs all the time, and I say we save that oil only for that situation, right? Because then it triggers them into that behavior, right? If we want a certain behavior, and why can't we do that with us? Then that can be something that you absolutely keep that bottle around and use that as your moment of happiness. I created a blend for all my sisters and my nieces and grandkids and, all of them this year for Christmas called Moment of Happiness.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
So I know many of you probably still have little kids, if not grandkids. My sister has 3 kids. One of them is grown up, but she's got 5 years old and 8 years old. So for her to find time between taking care of the family, taking care of the kids, and doing her work at home and school at home, it's very hard. So what she does, they have yoga for, I think it's video and it's for kids. So she turns on the yoga and she does yoga with her little one. And it's so much fun to watch. And can you imagine little 5 years old doing yoga with her mama? And,
that's great.
There's, I think the name of the yoga is Yoga Baba.
Yoga Baba.
I love that.
Like Baba Yaga,
Yeah,
Yoga Baba. It's so much fun. It relaxes you and it helps your kids also learn to do that self-care.
To do self-care, yes, absolutely. I think that's where we need to start too, is with our children, grandchildren. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
That's great.
when we could, what if we all got, maybe some of you did, but what if we all got taught that as children? What if we didn't have to wait till we were 40 or 50? I don't know, that's when I started to learn it. Maybe some of you guys started earlier. So I would like to do one more thing here, and that is that I would like to give everyone a gift. So, yeah. So I have done let's see if I can get this up here for you. I have done a little 2-part, I shouldn't say little, it's pretty big. It's almost 2 hours. 2-part video class on grief and essential oils. And I would like to gift that to everyone. Actually, in my bag, I'll get it here in a minute and pass it out to everybody for the QR code. For those of you who are at home, we will put this in the Facebook group. And Dan, I don't know, it is in there. It's called 1A on the flash drive, if you can pull that up. But you can just get this. You can get it for free. You go to my website. And here's the thing, the reason I wanted to gift this to everyone is because I really think there is a profound amount of guilt. Or guilt. Oh my God, my mother just got in my head. A profound amount of grief that is out there in the world. I shared a couple of situations personally that have affected many of us in this room by those people having issues going on. And here's the thing too, is that I'm an animal girl, and so I address not only the people in this, but I address the animals too. So this past year has created a lot of shifts and changes for our animals too. And if you were home for a long time and now you went back to work, or maybe the household has changed dramatically from what it was, that can really disrupt our animals too. So I started out here, so this is like, Dan has these great ideas like to help me create something. And so I started out, I was gonna do like a 20 or 30 minute thing on grief and essential oils, and it ended up being almost 2 hours. So I broke it into 2 parts for you, and you all can have it for free, and I'll pass those out here in just a minute so that you can have those. But it just felt like, you know what, dealing with our grief and accepting that we have it and being aware of what we can do about it feels like self-care to me too. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I wanted to share that with everybody and gift that to everyone here tonight. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Good.
Any questions?
Any other questions? I do want to remind everybody, you do have an evaluation, and virtual, you also have evaluation. So just if you want to do that as you go throughout the weekend, just to, just to know that that's in your bag and necessary also for CE. So just a reminder, housekeeping kind of thing.
I believe it's in the first folder, in the first section.
First pocket of
Yeah.
your folder.
Yeah.
For people here. Nice folders, thank you.
Any other questions?
It's the one
before
that
we
looks
wrap
like
up?
this,
thanks,
guys.
Jill. Thank you.
It says summary evaluation on the top. It's in your front pocket.
Yep, I see it by your fingers, yep.
Any other questions or comments or thoughts that anyone would like to share? I know we've got a brilliant group of women in this room, and I know on live stream too. Any other messages, Dan?
Oh, yeah, live stream. Oh, there's a lot. All right. We don't want to ignore them. Yes.
I wasn't going to interrupt you.
Okay.
There was one about, there was another stone you were talking about, you wanted more information about.
Information about one of the stones.
This was Terry Spencer, so when I went out to buy my crystal today, I came across bloodstone and just felt compelled to purchase it. Can you tell me more about that stone?
The bloodstone.
Honestly, off the top of my head, I cannot. I think maybe the little, yeah.
We'll look at our stone people
Yeah.
in the room. Is there, not stoned people, I didn't say that. Stoned. Yeah, we might be a little high on crystals and oils.
I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what we do. We've got some books here.
Yeah.
So Terry, check out the Facebook group either later tonight or tomorrow, and we'll put a little information about bloodstone in there. How about that?
Hey, Carissa, can you write that down and answer that for us in the group? Thank you.
Carissa.
She might be. Why she's not coming up with it right like that, yeah.
It's a little messy.
Dan, anything else?
Let's see. I'm just saying thank you for giving you the grief. The grief class.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And we want to, talking about thank you, we want to thank all of you for being patient with our technology challenges. It's the year, I have a friend that I called this year is the year of sandpaper because everything's a little gritty. But we're working through them, and just know we are going to post in our Facebook group. If you have a question and if you post it in the Facebook group, we are trying to check it in between, but if we're presenting, one of us, I'm the designated technology answering Facebook person, so if I'm up here talking, I may not be able to answer right away, but we will answer your questions, and if you give us a chance to answer them, we'll get them answered as quickly as possible.
Give us a little time in between so we can get to it.
Yeah, and you can also, if put a message to the Aromatherapy Retreat page, but we're actually really going to try really hard to use the Aromatherapy 2021 Aromatherapy group for participants only, because the Aromatherapy page the whole world can see. Our Aromatherapy group is for all of you guys who have graciously given of your time, energy, and finances to be a part of this weekend with us. So the things that we're going to post in there are for you all. So, but we're excited to have you all here, and I believe we have our technology rolling well now.
Yes. And I know for some of you who came in a little bit late, please also make sure you fill out your release forms. Give those to Kathy or Yolanda, if you would, please, before you leave this evening.
Yep, they're in the front of your folder.
And just a quick reminder for tomorrow morning, and we'll remind you about this again, but for the live stream people too, and we'll put something in the group. Tomorrow morning's schedule is the same. We are going to take a 45-minute lunch instead of an hour lunch, and then everything in the afternoon is going to get moved up 15 minutes. So we need to accommodate something here at the center. They've been working with us. We'd like to work with them. And so we're going to do that. And so we're just going to be a little bit early on things tomorrow afternoon. And then what we will do is we will actually add that 15 minutes into the supper break. So we'll have a little shorter lunch, but we'll have we'll put that 15 minutes back into your dinner break in the evening. So we'll be back on track for the drumming.
We will be in here pretty much all day.
Okay.
We'll go to a couple other spaces, but this is the main
I think
presentation.
that is it for our evening. All right. Oh, question? Yeah.
Tish and I are willing to spend a little time after.
Okay.
At the table if
So the vendors will be open afterwards. If anybody would like to check things out, they'll be there.
And what time is breakfast in the morning?
Breakfast tomorrow morning, for those of you who are here.
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
So you can come, you can eat, and then you'll have probably, 20, 30 minutes before we get started at 9.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you, live stream. Have a great evening. See you in the morning.
Hudson thanks you too. Yeah.
Oh, that's what
Oh, shoot. No, that's not
I didn't
right.
want to do it on live stream because I knew it didn't apply to them, so.
Sorry, I passed out the wrong thing.
Passed out the wrong thing.
You can keep it.
You can keep it, right. Can I borrow this for my presentation?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, my friend, so she really wanted to continue working from home and not the mandatory
So girls that came in a little bit late, what we did, you obviously saw some on your door maybe, but if you'll take this one, since everybody's folder is the same, if you take it and you stick it in the front of your folder,